How to turn 100,000 into $1 million in 5 years. It is doable. It is not difficult. It is extremely different than any of you think. So get a pen and paper, get your running shoes on, because you're going to have to speed up in everything you do and get really uncomfortable. So if you're going to click out of the video right now, then just stay poor or listen in and maybe get inspired about how you could do 100 grand first of all, and then literally 100 to $1 million can happen in a year. I'm going to share that strategy and how I did it. I went from 350 something thousand my first year, 370, I don't remember the exact number. I was at 1.7 million by the next year. It's doable, it's different, and not difficult. You just have to be mentored and coached and very strategically sequenced. So a couple strategies I'm going to talk about is how do you leverage the 100 if you're making 100 already? And I have a whole bunch of statistics about those of you already making 100, but how do you leverage it in using investments and higher returns and debt arbitrage as a way to do that? The next strategy is the importance of just business selection, training, and how you're going to build the team. You got to have teams and systems to move fast. If you already have 6 figures, getting to 7 is not difficult. A lot of you are stuck in there. I'm going to speak to you influencers or you people that are sitting in that 100, 200 range. Why aren't you reaching for that million? It's not difficult. You've got 3 things to do. I'll share with those at that video. I'll share more of that as we come to that topic. The last, which is probably the most important, is the tax strategy, your corporate structure, and that team structure of the foundation, because it has to hold 100 to $1 million without breaking, without blowing you into a big tax burden, and completely be set before you make the run. You want a foundation built as like in cement, not on sand. And most of you don't even have sand. You're just wandering around out there hoping you're going to find some cheap and free way to do it. Well, I can tell you I've spent millions on mentoring and coaching to get this brain transferred from being a farm girl in Nebraska to a multimillionaire and a millionaire in 8 different industries, about to be 9. Not bragging rights, credible rights, because I have done it. I am there. The difference of me and every other guru is my sustainability. I've been doing this education consistently since 1996, not changed who I am, what I'm doing. I do one thing. I help you be a millionaire in 3 to 5 years. I did it in the beginning, 99 to 2005, before the book was written, 100% real estate tours, and some gas and oil. Then I switched gears and said, I'm going to start, if you can fix and flip real estate, why can't you fix and flip businesses? That surged tons of cash in. I did recycled glass companies. I did supplement companies. Both of those struck millionaire status. Bought cheap, bought a company, fixed it, flipped it, made millions doing that. There are so many ways you can go from 100 to $1 million in a year, 5 years, 3 years, but doing it alone and doing it on like wandering around out there, why? Why wouldn't you use our brains experience, mine specifically and my team, avoid costly errors, you get access to this amazing Rolodex, and we speed you up because we know strategies, teams, systems, we're well tested, and we know it works, we know it doesn't, so you're going to navigate quicker and stop running into huge roadblocks. So a few other things specific to investing. So you got to understand the math of investing. So if you already have some money, 100,000, 200, but you aren't making $1 million. Now I'm not talking about go from 100 to $1 million in net worth. I'm talking 100,000 in new income to $1 million. How do you grow the company side of your life? By growing that income. Now, one way to do it is you take the income and as much as you can, keep your lifestyle exactly the same and put it all towards new assets. It's a math equation. Get out a compounding calculator. So if you have, say, 200,000 to put to work at 12%, 15%, 20%, and you did it for 5 years, how much would you need to add to it to make that $1 million? Start playing with numbers, right? Data doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie, people do. So get on spreadsheets if you don't know how to, hire somebody to help you figure out how to start really looking at numbers in your due diligence. Arbitraging debt's one of my favorite strategies. Now, most of you have such a weird psychology about debt. You have to be debt free. Well, you should be following Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey, not me, if that's who you are, because they are the live within your means people. I am the grow your means and become a millionaire people. So our strategies are different. They're great at what they do. I'm the best at what we do over here. If you want to be a millionaire, you want to grow. As you look at arbitraging debt, let's just say you're willing to be in $100,000 of debt. I'm in millions, by the way, of this exact strategy I'm going to teach you right now. Say you had $100,000 and you could invest it at 12% for easy math, right? That's $12,000 of money that you just printed. Yeah, you're $100,000 in debt, but you're making $12,000. That's $1,000 a month in passive income. So now you've grown that. Now, what if you could actually double that? What if you could go to 500? What if you could do $1 million of debt? Because you could qualify. Put it to work at 12. Now you're making $10,000 a month in passive income and you've grown. So there's investment investing strategies to get there. You can fix and flip, which is what I did. I did real estate. I did businesses. I've just shared that with you. There's so many ways to do it, but doing it out there on your own is almost impossible. Those of you who already have a good business, right? Let's talk about some statistics of the 100,000-aire. See, 90,000 or more puts you in the top 25% of income earners in the U.S. These are U.S. statistics. If you make more than 100, about 120, 170, you're in the top 3-4%. So the amount of Americans right now, given December 2023, 34% of American households earn 100,000 or more, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Individuals earning 100,000 or more typically reach the income level due to combined factors: education, occupation, experience, the geographic location, economic conditions. Here's the breakdown of why the people that make 100 have made 100. Number one, according to the U.S. Census, is their higher education, right? They have the knowledge base. Don't know if I exactly agree with that, because I know people who have dropped out of college and they're making hundreds and millions, being welders, metal artists from being a welder. They are plumbers, they are house managers, they are growing big construction companies. There's a lot that you don't have to have that for. But let's go back to the data. There's a highly specialized skill, right? So highly demanded skills in technology sectors, cybersecurity, data sciences, AI, digital marketing, that command not only higher salary, but a higher retainer, which is I'd rather have a contract, not a job with a company. Occupation and industries, just in general. I can tell you, being an author, speaker, trainer, the way I did it, where I made a lot and I bought a ton of assets, unlike most speakers who made a lot and spent it, had big lifestyles, and I had a great lifestyle. I built the assets, then my lifestyle. I had private planes, the whole thing. But doctors, pharmacists, IT, again, software engineers, finance, executive roles typically will exceed over 100,000. Profitable industries, again, tech, finance, pharmaceutical, consulting, anything health and wellness. I love they say pharmaceuticals. How about we put some real health and wellness alternatives in there? If you can negotiate, I'm a deal maker. In fact, I call myself an asset addict. I love cutting deals. I love being in the heart of a deal. I love helping you with operating agreements. I love helping you understand how a deal can get cut. Multiple streams of income by combining incomes and combining other revenue streams. So a lot of you, like at 18 years and older, if you're serious about this, you need to get incorporated, because corporate structure activates the tax code. Having big jobs activates the tax code, meaning activates 40 to 60% goes away. You're paid, you pay tax, you get to live on what's left. If you're an entrepreneur, your company makes the money, you activate 81,000 pages of tax code deductions, you invest for depreciation, now you have gold. So a lot of you, you're missing pieces of your formula, you're out of sequence. As we said, the importance of the business selection and the scalability. So many of you, you are authors. Why aren't you making hundreds, if not millions? I literally had no book. I became a millionaire in real estate in 1999. I just started talking about it. I had a blog and a newsletter, I think. I started just speaking on stages everywhere, and I'd gather everyone's name, phone number, and email. I put them in a database and I started talking to them. They started going on real estate tours. They started following me around. They started doing exactly what I told them to do, and they became millionaires. And that was between 1999 and 2005, when I was then found and contracted to write this. Now we have a whole system for it. We have a whole team. So it's me and 28 people that can make you a millionaire. But your business industry and how you scale requires two things: teams and systems. And most of you are not willing to hire, and you're too cheap to even do our systems of $297 a month. I'll give you my systems, my campaigns that made me a multi-millionaire. In fact, in the author, speaker, trainer space, I've made over $1 billion, a B. We are officially beyond a B in my lifetime. So I know this is a very lucrative space, but a lot of you will not put the team in place and you will not put the systems in place. You insist on using odd technologies that somebody else said to have used. I've used the same technology stack for 15 years plus. I have taken this company from, hundreds of thousands to millions to up to 40 million, and then put it back into a right space for the right kind of client I want. It's very, very flexible. If you go to AskRMS, stands for rapidmarketingsystems.com. For $297, we will start you moving. I don't care where you are. If you're selling, you're in agriculture, whatever industry, you have got to have a landing page with a database, get people off of social following and into you so you can monetize. If I'm going fast, it's because I know this inside and out and in my sleep. The biggest thing I have to teach you as you become an entrepreneur, though, is marketing, entrepreneurial sales, and entrepreneurial cash flow. That is not what you're going to be taught to run a job. It's what you're going to do to run your company. Now, before I go into the tax implications and building that rock, cement, solid foundation, I want you here, subscribe to my channel 5 days a week. I'm here. Get your kids involved in this conversation sooner than later, because I want you to then not only build corporate life, I want you to have a family legacy. I have 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive. They're always in our description. It's our gift every day, because I want you to show up. Once a month, we do an event that teaches you corporate life, teaches you how to build a business in less than 3 hours, and puts you into marketplace to sell your offers in less than 3 hours. This thing's on fire. People have made thousands of $1,000 in one day jumping. So if you can make thousands in one day, what could you do if you did it consistently every day? That's where a lot of you fall down. You're not consistent, you're not persistent, and you don't have a system to actually monetize and keep things moving. So what's the strategic tax planning and structure planning? You have to live corporate life. There's you, and you should only be paying about 8 to 10 things personally. You'll have a management company, an operating company. You might have an intellectual property company. You might have an equipment company. You're going to have companies that are going to run very strategically orchestrated by my corporate teams, my compliance teams, and our tax teams, not yours. We are not teaching your people who have screwed you up and got you where you've gotten to overpaying taxes. We're not teaching your team their strategies. If they want to know, they can come in and be a client. If you want to know how to lead your team and activate my team as your team, you are welcome to. Call the office, ask for a strategy session, and lean in. We have a guaranteed $100,000 program for those of you who've never made 100. In 365 days, we'll guarantee you'll make it. 100,000 of new income in 365 days. You have to do everything I say. There's 52 videos, there's 52 actions. You have to do it in order, and you got to keep up. You can't do nothing, and then think it's going to all play compounded catch up. You have 1 year to do everything in the right order and sequence, because it's really the beginning's the heavy lift, because the back is just marketing, sales, cash flow, marketing, sales, cash flow, ramping up those last 6 months, and you'll nail 100,000. From there, we ramp up more team, more systems, and you go from 100 to 1 million, whether it's making money or investing money. You can do it in 1 year, you can do it in 5 years. It is up to you how fast you want to go, and I'd love to coach you through it. So if you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL. Ask a question, make a request. I'll be back here tomorrow.